Welcome to the Sports Podium with Hot Take City and Austin.
Well, we're here, boys. Another Thursday, another live show. It's not your typical show tonight. We're not talking football. I got some hockey guys on here with me. We'll go ahead and start. I got my guy Vegas Hockey Freak here. I got my guy Boston, and then I also got my guy Brian. We got some hockey guys on this show tonight. Go ahead and get this rolling. How we doing tonight, boys?
Doing good.
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Hanging in there, man. I'm ready for this. This is about to be an interesting show. I don't know as much as hockey as much as y'all, obviously. I had to pull out the Rangers jersey from the closet that's been in the back of the closet for about 6-7 years. But I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a great show. And we'll go ahead and get it started with the first question. We're still waiting for Alex Ovechkin to get his 900 goal here. It's been 2 days, maybe 3 days since he's been sitting at 899. But the question I have for that is he already, or will he go down as the best to play the sport of hockey? And Vegas, we'll start with you on that question.
Ooh, I mean, yes and no. I still think it'll be Gretzky, in my opinion. It depends how much more he can play, which I don't think he's got that many more years left in him. But he definitely will go down as the greatest goal scorer. But I think Gretzky will still go down as the greatest player.
Brian?
No. Gretzky still is the greatest player. Ovi's the greatest goal scorer that we've seen. But if you took away all of Gretzky's goals that they scored, he would still have more points than what Ovi has. I mean, yeah, I know he played in the Gretzky played in the '80s when he's scoring 92 goals and having 200 plus assists, but he was more of a complete player, more of a playmaker. Ovi's a goal scorer. He always sets up in the one spot on the left side, hash marks. I mean, it's that's what he's known for, is setting up over there, and his one time around the power play and of everything. And not taking anything away from Ovi, because this to get to pass Gretzky in goals. I mean, that's a great accomplishment for him. But Gretzky to me is still going to be the best player that we've ever seen.
Boston?
Yeah, I agree with Brian largely. I mean, as the greatest goal scorer, yeah, absolutely, hands down. I mean, in today's day and age, when goals are so much harder to come by, hands down, best goal scorer. Best player, though, to Brian's point, Gretzky was so much more complete of a player. Brian talked about, you remove the goals that Gretzky scored and he has more points than Ovi. If you remove all of his points or all of his goals, he has more points than everybody still in the history of the game. So, it just goes to serve that, yes, Gretzky played in an era where games were 5-4 every night, 6-5 every night, and nail biters coming down to it. But nobody else did what he did in the same era. So I think that still speaks to just how much better he was at that juncture. And then you have, I don't know, there's 10 other players you could probably name that I think would still be in the argument for better player than Ovi. The Yzermans, the Sakic's, Crosby. I think right now, especially given the same era, drafted within a year or two of each other. And while they're pretty close in points, I think Crosby's a more complete player. Defensively, offensively, special teams, I think that he just does more. So I think he'll be a top 10 player, but not the greatest.
I respect it. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously the conversation of him scoring 900 goals is very huge accomplishment, and no one's definitely taking that away from him. And we probably won't see that for another, 100 years. You know what I mean? To where it's a whole different new era and it's a whole different game, as we like to say. But no, it's definitely going to be a great accomplishment for him when he finally achieves that accomplishment and scores 900 goals. But obviously that's the hot topic right now, and people are comparing eras to eras, and like you said, it's different eras and stuff. So the reason why I brought that up is because it's just like the whole basketball situation. It's like the NFL situation. It's just all depends on the era that everybody played in. And but in hockey though, it's a little bit different because back then no one was playing as well as Gretzky, like you said, Boston. So in basketball you had other players playing as good as some of the legends that we know of nowadays. And same thing in MLB. But in hockey, no one was even coming close to Gretzky in that era when he was playing. So, it's a little discussion. People get upset over it, or people have normal conversations like we're having about it. So it's just one of those things, and I can't wait to see when he does score 900. They do got a game tomorrow, so we'll maybe see it tomorrow. If not, then we'll probably see it over the weekend. So I do want to talk about what team so far. I know it's only been 10, 11, maybe 9 games for certain teams, but what team so far going into this year has the most to prove? And Boston, we'll go ahead and start with you on that one.
I mean, most to prove. I think you got a couple of teams, especially out in the Central Division. Dallas is looking to get back. Edmonton is looking to get back. Colorado is now there. They signed Natchez today, which is a huge deal. Couldn't sign Rantanen last year, so now you have this whole Dallas, Colorado thing. But I think those are the teams I think they have the most to prove: Edmonton, Dallas, Colorado. And I think with the injuries that have taken place in Florida, they've fallen off the radar a little bit. But come April, we'll see where that team is and how they can start to string together a run. But since you're wearing the jersey, I just want to say New York has some expectations of at least being better than they were last year. So I don't think anybody's talking cup with New York, but I will say I think that the expectation is they need to start to perform and do it quickly. And Drury may be on the hot seat. Uh, if they can't get something together with Shesterkin being in his prime right now.
Before I continue to the next person, why does every show have to just hate on hot take? Like you know what I'm saying? Every show. Like, why are we doing this right now?
It's dude, you're just so dang lovable. Look at you. I just
No, I'm just
I gotta
messing.
cozy.
I mean, listen, what was it? 3 years ago, they went to the the conference finals, or 3 years ago. Yeah, and ever since then, it's just been downhill for the Rangers, and I lost all expectations from them. So,
It's fair.
Brian, what teams have most approved this year?
I'm gonna say Toronto first, because I mean they lost Marner, but they've had this core group with Austin Matthews, Nylander. I'm probably missing a few other players where every year the expectations keep going up and up for Toronto. I mean, they finally a couple of years ago they made it to the second round of the playoffs, but they need to get to the conference finals, get to a Stanley Cup final here, because at some point these star players they're gonna get older and older, and the time frame for them to when the cup's gonna get smaller and smaller for them, or players are going to start asking for trades at some point, so that they can go to a team where they have a better chance to win a cup. And then I agree with Boston too. Like what West, a team like Edmonton, who's been to the Cup Finals the past 2 years and lost to Florida both years. I mean, with Connor McDavid, the best player in the game right now. Yeah, I mean, their expectations have to be cup or bust this year.
Vegas.
I'm gonna go with the Utah Mammoth. Actually, um,
I'm glad you brought that up because that was my next conversation. So go ahead.
they're first in the Central Division right now. Uh, Cooley recently totaled 4 points in 7 minutes of a period. He's got plenty of young talent around him to compete. But as Boston was saying earlier, that Central Division is very competitive. Um, Avs are a great team. Stars are starting off a little slow, but we know they're going to be competing for that playoff spot as well. But I really think the Mammoth will be somebody to watch come playoff time as well. That they'll be holding the spot.
They're a
So
lot of fun to watch.
so
Like they're
that's why
speedy.
my question
Yeah,
of the Mammoth is obviously they're an expansion team, right? And when the expansion team happens, where do they pull these players from? Is my question.
So this one was interesting because this is not your traditional expansion team. They were moved over from the Coyotes. And
Okay.
so the Coyotes drafted most of these players, the core players that are there. And then the Coyotes couldn't get their stuff together. And so Utah won out, and that's where they're playing now. So a lot of these core players, they weren't brought in like Vegas, where they had an expansion draft and they got to go and pick players, or like Seattle was. This was just an existing team moving from site to site. So they've grown up together. I mean, they've been playing together for years. So while they're a relatively young team, they have tons of experience working together.
Yeah, because I just seen that one of their players signed for 8 years. So I mean, they look like they've been, an established team. I forgot about the whole transfer thing. I did forget about that. So, but so I mean, they're not doing too bad. They look good. I was watching some highlights and stuff. But the next thing is those. So I want to talk about each of your teams. I don't care about the Rangers as much to talk about them because I lost faith in them. What Boston on your team? What do you expect from them this year?
Huh.
And tell the people who your team is, obviously. But
Yeah. So, I mean, the Colorado Avalanche are my team, have been their entire existence, my entire existence. Uh, and it's cup or bust. And I think it is every year. As long as you have Nathan McKinnon, you have Cale Makar, now you have Natchez signed for 8 years. You have goaltending signed with Blackwood over the next 5 years. Wedgwood has been standing on top of his head for the majority of this season. He's had some lapses. I think he's been played quite a bit. He's, a traditional kind of journeyman backup goalie who's been playing as a starter with Blackwood. I think it's got to be the cup or bust. And it is, like I said, every year. They've got to get over the hump of first round exits. They lost to Seattle in the first round over the last couple of years, Dallas in the second round, Dallas again in the first round. Anytime that Colorado doesn't have to play Vegas or Dallas, though, we win cups apparently. So uh, the hope is to just try and break through. But that's cup or bust for my team.
okay.
All right, my team is the Detroit Red Wings, and for me, it's for them to make the playoffs this year. After seeing them make the playoffs for 25 straight years from the early 90s on, they've missed the playoffs the past 9 seasons. You know, Eiserman took over as GM coming from Tampa Bay. He was the captain of the Wings his entire career, so he's kind of back to resurrect the Wings back, and they've got some good talent there. That expectation that this year is make the playoffs. If they go in the first round, that's fine, but they've competed for a playoff spot and missed out by 2 3 points or tie breaking scenarios two years ago. 2 years ago against the Capitals, where they finished tied in points, but this year just get into playoffs and see what happens.
Vegas, obviously we know who your team is. It's in your name, and we know they won a cup. We know they won a cup recently. So obviously we know that's what you like. But the last couple of years have been a little rocky for them. But what are your expectations this year out of your team?
Expectations definitely get to at least the second or third round. Obviously, a cup would be great. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford some of our players next year, like Dorofiev, if he keeps playing at the rate he's playing. But, I mean, we did just sign Eichel. We signed Marner. So I mean, we have a good core still. Honestly, expect Stone to probably leave us in the next year or so, just because he's very injury prone and getting up there in age. But yeah, for sure, at least second or third round, I think is our expectations with the players that we have right now. And we are dealing with injuries, of course, early on with our starting goaltender.
Now, looking at these standings, obviously I know, like I said earlier, we're only 12 games most for some teams, and are these the standings that we'll pretty much see towards the end of the year with certain teams? Obviously, we have some Cinderella stories in there as of right now, but you have your Knights, that are always up there. Colorado's always up there. Like, looking at the Devils, for example, do you think that we'll see the Devils winning that division towards the end of the year, or is that division a toss up with Pittsburgh and Philly and Carolina, because Carolina's always there at the end?
I think Carolina will probably take that the division. They're probably the better team. New Jersey would probably finish second. Pittsburgh, they're kind of playing above expectations right now. To
They're
me,
playing
I
good right
mean,
now.
there's a whole thing that they were going to be in a rebuild. The year starting to rebuild. I mean, Crosby's getting older, Malkin's getting older. There were talks of the Penguins trading Malkin at some point. Carlson's up there in age. So I mean, Pittsburgh, they're I see them dropping off at some point.
Vegas?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Pittsburgh, they are off to a great start this year, but I mean, their GM Dubas has kind of made it clear that he's taking the Penguins in the rebuild direction. So I do see them falling off. Montreal Canadiens holding first in the Atlantic right now. I see them falling off, even though they are off to a great start. But I think once Florida Panthers get a couple of their guys back, I think they'll be taking over that division like they have the last 3 years or so. Utah Mammoth, I don't really see them holding that spot, even though they do have a lot of young talent, but Central Division, super competitive. I think they'll drop and kind of be fighting for that playoff spot most likely. The Pacific, it'll probably be Golden Knights, Kings, Oilers, Kraken, possibly.
Boston? Do you think the standings will stay the way they are now towards the end?
definitely not going to stay the way that they are. I think the Kraken, very similar to Pittsburgh, kind of playing with house money right now. They weren't projected to be very good. Not a very high scoring game. In fact, even though they have a winning record, they have like a negative differential scoring. So some underlying things in that. But Golden Knights are going to be there. Kings are going to be there. Oilers are going to be there. I think the one like wild card that I picked this year going into the playoffs were the Ducks, looking to take that next step, get to the playoffs, much like Detroit on the other side. So I think that the Pacific Division is going to change quite a bit. The Central Division is another one. I think you're going to get 4, possibly 5 teams from the West coming out of the Central Division. Wild, Avalanche, Mammoth, Detroit, or not Detroit, sorry, Dallas, and the
Even the
Jets.
Blackhawks are playing great this year.
All these teams are starting to put stuff together, and you're like, what's going on? I think they're going to fall back down to earth too. But
Yeah.
in the Metro, though, New Jersey, having just played them 2 straight games, that is an incredible hockey team. If Markstrom can get back to form, because he let up 8 goals against Colorado the other night, but if he can get back from injury and into form, that is a dangerous team. I think they're a little like soft on the back end and the defensive side, but offensively, I watched them make play after play against Colorado. Didn't always connect for a goal, but I mean, they scored 4 goals on Colorado in 4 minutes the other night. Avs were up 5-0, and then they put up 4 goals in 4 minutes. So made it a game. Pittsburgh, like you guys said, kind of playing with house money. No real expectation there, but I think they could sneak into a wild card, but that wild card spot's going to be open. Hurricanes are going to be good. Capitals are going to be just fine. They're a big, heavy team. But I think your wild card teams from that could be Blue Jackets, could be Penguins, and then in the Atlantic, Canadians are a fun hockey team to watch. They kind of remind me of the Mammoth a little bit, pushing together a bunch of young guys that have grown up together. I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll probably finish top 3 in the division and be okay. Red Wings are off to a hot start. I don't think that's sustained, but I think that they can get into a wild card spot for sure. Panthers, who knows? Those injuries are long term. They're big, heavy guys. They're the core. Barkov is out. They're not the same defensively from a forward standpoint without him, having won the Selke back-to-back years. So Senators, though, that is a team that I'm watching right now. What a fun team. Allmark in net. He's playing well. Senators are scoring goals. They're scary to want to have to go and play, at least from a defensive standpoint. If your team's playing them, you got to be on your toes. But I think everything's still up in the air. To answer the question point blank and period, I don't think you're going to see where people are today in 80, or sorry, not 80, but 70 games from now.
I mean, you're right, but looking at some of these point differentials, like you said, looking at Florida and looking at Edmonton, from both of them being in the Stanley Cup last year, they're not off to a great start. And obviously, like you said, Florida has injuries, but most teams do tend to start off slow after playing those extra games that no one else played. Do we see either of those teams bouncing back and making a push for the division? Or is Florida's injuries too much for them to try to bounce back?
Well, I'll answer. So I think the Panthers, they're interesting. They're at 500 right now. Negative goal differential. I think they had maybe a bad game or two, but I think if they can hold on, they can squeeze into a wild card spot. And then once they are in, we're going to find out what the team is really made of, because everybody's expected, with the exception of Barkov, to be back by the time the playoffs roll around. And they signed like 11 guys from that championship roster to be with them long term. So with the exception of Barkov, I mean, you're largely bringing back the championship team. Those extra games matter, like you brought up, but I do think that they can get a push. If they make it in, they're going to be dangerous. Edmonton, on the other hand, dangerous now. They aren't doing a whole lot. McDavid's not scoring goals. He promised to score goals this year. He's not really doing that. But I think they're still a dangerous team. And if they can figure out goaltending, if Stuart Skinner can stay in the net and quit playing it from behind, leaving empty nets for everybody to put pucks in, I think that they're going to figure it out. And they'll be there right at the end. It's going to be Golden Knights and Oilers fighting for supremacy in that division.
Any thoughts on that, Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think, I mean, they're not off to a horrible start. They're not off to a great start. I think they'll be just fine come playoff time. They'll be competing definitely for, like Boston said, it's going to be most likely Vegas and Oilers, possibly Kings, depending on how they play out the rest of the season. But definitely think they'll be just fine. They'll be able to make the playoffs. And same with the Florida Panthers. They're not off to a horrible start. Not off to a great start either, but they're still third in the Eastern Conference right now, even with all the injuries. So, like Boston said, though, once they get to the playoffs, depending on who comes back, if they actually get their players back, we're really going to see who that team is. And I kind of expect an early exit from them this year if they kind of continue on the path they're on right now. But it's obviously early. It's hard to say.
Brian, anything else to add to that?
No. Vegas and Boston pretty much said the same things that I was gonna say. I mean, I think the Oilers will be fine. McDavid will pick it up here at some point. I mean, he's just too good of a player to go without scoring. You know, the for Florida, we're gonna see just how long they can kind of try to water here with all their injuries. You know, is it going to take a toll early on? We're all of a sudden they lose 4 or 5 6 games in a row, or can they stay at 500 and sneak in as a wild card team this year?
So the next thing I wanted to talk about was I was looking at goals, right? And in the top 10, you have two biggest night players. And obviously, they're both doing well. But they're pretty close. There's 4 people with 9 goals, and then there's 5 people with 8 goals. And obviously Crosby's one of them. So the point I'm trying to make here is, in the goals, are we going to see one of these players continue to just dominate, or are we just going to see someone just take out and just continue to just score and just be a true leader the whole season? Or is it going to be a close run to the end?
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty close run to the end. Got McKinnon, Hughes, Caulfield, Dorofeev, and Eichel, all up there. Dorofeev, obviously, I don't think he'll sustain that, although he is having a freaking great start. And it is only his second full year in the NHL, so it's hard to say on that as well. But I don't think he'll be up there with McKinnon necessarily, or Eichel if Eichel stays on the path he's on. I definitely see him falling.
Brian?
I think it'll be a pretty close race. I mean, I think you'll see guys like Draisaitl, McKinnon up there again. Kucherov in Tampa Bay. He's one of those sneaky guys. He doesn't get a whole lot of recognition, but he's good for 30, 40 goals. I mean, he was in New Jersey. You know, ranting into.
Awesome.
Yeah, just looking at top five. I wonder about Caulfield staying in there. I think Hughes is going to be fantastic and towards the top of that list by the end of the year. Is always there. To Brian's point, you got the Kucherovs, the Dreisaitl's, who aren't necessarily off to torrid starts. So they're going to be up there by the end of this year as well. Sometimes it just takes a little bit. Edmonton, for everything we said about uh, Florida playing extra games, Edmonton's played those same extra games. And so you got a tired team getting started or a slow start for them. I think they'll be up there. Um, Dorofiev, Why am I saying that so funny? Anyways, what a surprise. I was talking with Vegas. I drafted this kid for my fantasy team, and he's just been lights out every night. He's putting up points, he's putting up goals. I think it tapers off, but if he hits 30 goals this year, what a fantastic season for him. And he's already a third of the way there. So pretty close. Already not even 10 games into the season or 11 games into the season. So this list is going to change, but I think McKinnon will be there at the end for sure.
So obviously a slow start to some of your players, like, not Crosby, but some of your household names. So do we expect to see any of those players in region of being top 10 at least, like a Ovechkin? What's the kid from the Oilers, McDavid? Do we expect to see any of those players in the top 10 eventually towards the end of the season, or is it the new era that are?
No, I mean McDavid, I think will definitely get up there. Ovechkin, I don't know if he'll be top 10, but I mean he'll definitely get up there. Probably at least 30 to 40 goals, I'd say. Crosby probably won't be up there in goals, points maybe.
Right.
Yeah, David will probably get up there in goals. He's always up in the top 5, 10 in goals. Ov, I don't know if he'll be there this year or not. I mean, we'll see how much he still has left to go. But you'll probably have your normal players that are always there in your top 5, top 10 that always seem to be there.
Boston.
Yeah, it's I think the NHL calls this the golden era of hockey right now. It's very interesting. You have these veterans that are starting to age and on, but still scoring goals. I don't know where Ovechkin's going to land. Yeah, I do think this is probably his last season. I have to throw that out there. But, you got kids like Celebrini, San Jose, we have not brought up yet, but he's electric right now. He'll probably finish in the top 10 in goals if he keeps playing the way that he is right now. Kaprizov, Minnesota, he just signed a huge contract at the start of the season. I think he could possibly be up there in points. I think Crosby will probably be there in points, not goals, so he'll probably drop some in that department. But if we're talking strictly just points, there's a mammoth right now that's running Nick Schmaltz. Got 17 points right now. that team is rolling. The team is playing really well. They are in sync, and he is one of those big catalysts. So,
All right, so first time I'm gonna do this ever. Open floor here, boys. Let's get a topic going and let's talk about it. And we'll start with you, Vegas. Anything you want to talk about that's going on in NHL right now?
Anything? Well, I don't know. We'll go with how horrible the marketing is for our Frozen Frenzy, the one day a year that we get all 32 teams playing. And it's usually on a freaking Tuesday. And you get pretty much no advertising, no marketing for it. You want to try to expand the league, but you're not putting the effort into letting the people know that we're putting on a hockey night where every team's playing. I think they drop the ball on that every year with their marketing and then doing it on a Tuesday, which is odd. Random Tuesday in October every year.
So what I'm getting out of that is, so basically, like, you want something like a type red zone thing to where they're like bouncing from game to game, or do you want something like
I would love that.
Or would you like something like MLB would do? And they do, I think it's like once a week, maybe twice a week, where if there's multiple games on, they'll have on the MLB network 4 or 5 games showing at one time. Which one would, like, would be more justifiable for all 32 teams playing at one time?
Well, I mean, first off, I think starting it on like a weekend or something would be the best bet, and starting early rather than later on in the day, so you can actually spread out the games. But I mean, a red zone feature, I think, would be awesome if they continue to do it how they are doing it, where we have 6 games on at a time.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I really don't get much hockey games being in the area I'm in, and the only really hockey games I'd get would be Florida, unless it's a hockey game on TV that's pretty much national television. But
Yeah.
but baseball, during the regular season, they did have that MLB inning thing to where they were showing 4 or 5 games at one time, and I thought it was pretty cool. A lot of people are not baseball fans, so you have to be a true baseball fan to watch something like that. But a red zone for all 32 teams bouncing back and forth and just showing clips of each game, I think that'd be a very interesting situation, and I think a lot of people would actually tune into that and watch that, honestly.
Oh yeah, that, and their marketing for it's just horrible. Like when you do Frozen Frenzy once a year, you do it on a Tuesday. It's just ridiculous. They don't tell anybody about it.
I'm assuming it already happened.
Yeah, it happened a couple days ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it happened this past week. Okay.
Yep. So you didn't even know about it.
I'm not big into, like, if I was big into hockey, I probably would have known about it, but I'm just not that like knowledgeable behind it as much as some people like. So, but
no, but it's when you have all 32 teams playing, it's a great marketing opportunity to try to get more people involved and more people interested in the league, and they totally miss the mark on doing that every year.
Yeah. Boston, what are your thoughts on that?
I missed maybe part of.
Yeah, well,
Vegas
we were
was
just
saying,
talking about how they should we were talking about how maybe doing like a red zone or like the MLB extra inning things where they're showing 4 or 5 games at once. Like, what do you consider of either of those for the hockey?
Well, I'll start maybe a little broader. I think the scheduling from the NHL has always been horrific. Just in general, to begin this season, there's several teams that have already had several back-to-backs. There's the Avalanche, for instance. they've had a couple of weeks now where they have like 2 days off in between games, which is good. I mean, obviously you're getting the rest and you want your players to be healthy and all that, but you get into this cadence of every other day you're playing games, and the players get into their routines, and that's really difficult to do. But there's no weekend games. For instance, the Avalanche have like one Sunday game over the next couple of months, and it's like, how are we doing this? How are we promoting the game from that standpoint? If I can't get my kids to a game, how are we going to grow it? But from the Frozen Frenzy standpoint, look, I'm okay if you're going to do a Tuesday night, but you've got to advertise this thing. And their biggest thing that they talk about, or that I've heard, is they don't want to compete with the NFL right now. But they competed with the World Series with no market. So how are we ever going to enjoy this? And ESPN's commentating is absolutely horrendous. It
It's
is
been bad.
slow.
It's been bad
boring.
for years, but in every sport. So
Yeah, I get it. And I'm just like, how are you the biggest worldwide leader in sports? You can't get some excitement. I'll take a cowbell at this point. Go ring that thing while everybody's talking. I don't know what they got to do, some confetti poppers or something, but it's stale. And I don't know why it has to be, because the sport is exciting. It's hard to follow the puck as it is, but I don't want to watch these commentators talk about, they talk about one team, and everybody will complain about this, and I'm sure the comments will pop up too. They talk about one team. They don't know why they pick which team. It could be the home team, could be the away team, doesn't matter. They'll talk about that team and everything they've been through in their entire history for the entire show. And everybody's like, why are they so biased? And it's like, well, I learned a lot about that team at least, and I got to see my team win, but I got a good history listening to it. It's just really bad product. It has been good from a dollar standpoint because the salary cap continues to rise with all of these deals they've made with ESPN, TNT, NBC, and all of these other places. So that's been good, but the product itself has not been great. I'd much rather watch my regional sports network every single time. Shout out to Altitude TV.
Brian, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I mean, ESPN made a whole big deal about them getting the NHL back, and then I think the first season when they did their Frozen Frenzy, they advertised the hell out of it, so everyone knew about it. But the past 2-3 years, there's been no advertising or anything about it. I mean, and to Vegas's point is, why are you doing this on a Tuesday? Do it on a Saturday. You can start some games at noontime and start going from there, so that way people can see it. Yeah, I know you're probably gonna go against college football too, but I mean, if you have a team that's doing well in the at the start of the season, you're more likely to watch that. Just I mean, even a Friday. I mean, not everyone's gonna sit there and has time to watch hockey on a Tuesday night. I mean, because you have to go to work the next day and stuff. I mean, and to Boston's point, yeah, the announcers are awful. I mean, but back in the day, they like Gary Thorne was like the best commentator on ESPN for hockey. I mean, I don't know if anyone here remembers seeing any old Gary Thorne doing hockey for ESPN, but he was always
Gary
so
Thorne
good
and
at
Bill
calling
Clement.
games. Yeah, Gary Thorne and Bill Clement. I mean, they were so good. I mean, and and that they always had commercials for just showcasing hockey games and stuff with them. I mean, we don't get any of that stuff from ESPN. I mean, I because I'm not in Michigan anymore. I got ESPN Plus, so I can watch my Wings games on the local Detroit channel through that.
Okay. Any more thoughts on that topic, or Anything else? So, Brian, give me a topic that you want to throw out there that we could talk about.
All right. Regional blackouts of games. I live in South Carolina, and when the Wings play the Hurricanes, because I'm so close to North Carolina, like I will not get to see those games because it's gonna be blacked out, and for me. Even if it's a national game, like if the Hurricanes are playing on TNT, they will take TNT off of my channel guide until the game is over. Like I won't even know that that game's being played. I mean, and one of my friends, she lives in Arizona, and like if the Wings are playing the Golden Knights or the Mammoth, or sometimes some of the teams in LA, the games are blacked out for her. Being on the what was West Coast there. I mean,
So, pretty much more nationalized TV for hockey games is what you're trying to say.
yeah,
Especially,
or just not or just don't black out games at all. Find a way so that people can watch the games. I mean, even if I have to watch the Wings Hurricanes games on the Hurricanes broadcast, that's fine. Just let me be able to watch the games.
Boston, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts about that?
Regional blackouts are just horrendous across all sports. Having worked in telecom many years and dealt with people who have gone through all these blackouts, including me. When Altitude was not on Comcast network for the longest time, you get a game that would be on TNT or on the NHL network, and they couldn't watch it. They'd broadcast it on Altitude, and they wouldn't allow for the national feed to come through. And so you get fans everywhere that are just. I mean, this goes right back into the same conversation as Frozen Frenzy. You want to have accessibility for everybody to be able to enjoy the sport. And this is all sports, but since we're talking specifically hockey, you're not going to grow it if you're blocking people out from being able to view the games that they want to watch. They do offer an NHL pay-per-view package, but not everybody has, traditional cable for those pay-per-view packages. They're expensive. You have to pay for the whole package or even quarters of packages. So, I mean, you end up doing what a lot of folks do. Not me. I would never do anything illegal. Get a VPN and you start buying into ESPN Plus packages. And so you can say that you're from wherever. Like that's how that happens.
Just give the viewers just more access to do that. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
For free. Yeah, you still got to pay for the VPN.
I mean,
usually.
Or you could just find an illegal site to watch your team. No big deal.
Or you could just move to the state in which a team is playing in, and change your whole life to be able to watch hockey.
Yeah, right. I mean, the thing is though, it's blackouts are in every sport, and it really sucks. And a lot of sports now are starting to move to the streaming thing, like you said, where you can buy the NHL package, you can buy the NFL Sunday ticket, you can buy the MLB extra inning, you could buy the NBA package, and like you said, a lot of people don't want to buy that because they just want to buy their team. They just want to buy it to watch their team. They don't care about the other 30 teams in the league. They just want to watch what they want to watch, and a lot of these streaming sites don't offer that, and they just pretty much force you to buy the whole thing to where you can watch every game and any game you want, highlights, reviews, stuff like that. So if they were able to make it to where you can buy it for your team that you want to watch, I think a lot more people would be interested in that and buy however much it costs, even if it's $20 per month, just to watch your team play, instead of watching all 32 teams play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Knights actually have a nighttime plus, which is, I think we get 75 out of the 82 games Um, it's a horrible app though, but it is a right direction, and something that I think more teams should offer and do, to where they have a streaming service just for their team, um, and you can watch all your games. I think the ones that aren't available are like the ones on TNT or the national broadcast ones on our Nighttime Plus thing. But for the most part, you get every games. I want to say it's like $80, which isn't horrible for the whole season. Um, but I think more teams go in that direction in all sports would be a great thing, just to offer to fans to, hey, you can pay just to watch all of our games, not worry about blackouts and all that. Because yeah, every sport broadcasts the national blackout thing is just annoying for fans across the globe.
Yeah, I mean, I know some teams do that as well for like other sports too. So that's starting to become a little bit more popular than just for the Knights, obviously. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's still something. A lot of you got to think about it. Like when a lot of these sports started, going with these bigger programs and not being on local TV, a lot of people that are stuck in their old ways still have cable. So they're only able to watch whatever's on cable. Like they don't have all the streaming sites like Peacock and um, HBO Max and Paramount Plus and all these other ones to where you're able to watch, the games that they show on those streaming devices. So, you know, when you went to, like, for an example, the NFL lost a lot of views the first couple of years that they went to Amazon Prime for Thursday Night Football, because a lot of people didn't have Amazon Prime. So it's stuff like that that hurts your viewership. And I think last year though, which brings up a good point, which I think last year World of Nations brought back a little bit of that viewership from last year. What they were down because of how well it was organized and how well they actually did. Because I was very interested in that, and I watched pretty much 90% of that. So it did bring back a lot of the viewerships, but it also goes back to the whole starting this year off with having streaming sites and only watching games that are in your market that you live in. Does that make sense? So, I mean, I guess they just have to, like, even all sports across the board, they just have to figure out how to, get their. The problem is they're all trying to, and especially here in America, they're all trying to compete with soccer. And you're overseas, like in Europe and all that, you can watch pretty much any soccer game you want. you know Over here you have to pay extra amount of money just to watch your team play on TV. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just nothing will compare to that, obviously. But I mean, it is what it is. I guess we'll have to see what they decide to do in the future, and we'll go from there. um any more discussion of that topic? Boston, what's the topic that you want to talk about?
I just wanted to bring up that scoring appears to be pretty even across the league right now. It's up. Teams are scoring above 3 goals per game, which means it's exciting hockey. So as we try to promote this sport and try and give people reason to go and visit and see their favorite teams, right now 19 out of the 32 teams are scoring above 3 goals per game, and that makes for exciting hockey. Uh, they're top 5 teams: Devils, Avalanche, Knights, Hurricanes, and Canadians. And those are exciting teams to watch right now. You go into a game, you're going to see 3 or 4 goals, empty nets at the end, and your team's typically winning when they're scoring that high. New Jersey leads the way right now at 3.9. So, I mean, you're walking into a 4 goal clip per game. That's a good night. So get out there, watch your hockey teams, scoring's up, and the excitement is there as well.
So to touch off of that, why is scoring up?
Goalies suck. No, I do think that there's been a shift, right? If there's more puck position teams, you're leading in the offensive zone, you're forechecking better. I think there's just been a heavier emphasis on getting people to push the puck forward. And defense is sort of taken a back end to that. Now, there are some great defensive teams as part of this as well, but I do think the emphasis right now is we need to score goals, we need to create excitement, and that's what teams are doing right now.
Vegas?
That's funny. I was gonna say that when we were talking about the Ovechkin thing, and you were saying that like when Gretzky was playing, we were having the high scoring games. I was like, man, the start of this season, we were having some high scoring games. This whole season so far has been an exciting all around. Yeah, I don't know if it's just goalies suck or or what, but yeah, it's definitely an exciting game right now. We got all teams pretty much scoring three or more goals in a game. At least all the competing teams that we expect to see in the cup or in the playoffs. Sorry. Yeah, it's just exciting hockey right now. Definitely go watch some hockey. Get in there.
Rangers are second to last, by the way. 2 goals a game.
Bro, like why? Why must we do this? Why must we do this?
Look, I just haven't had
we
a
can
chance to hear
find-
you talk about the Rangers, and so we talked about our teams. I just want to bring it up.
So what about the Rangers, Boston? What do you want? Hold on, before you do that, Brian, let me get your thoughts about scoring being high first, and then we'll go back to this conversation, Boston.
All right. I think it was maybe 2 years ago where the league kind of shifted because like goal scoring was way down like 2 3 years ago, and they kind of shifted is that they wanted scoring up because like if you get games that are going nothing, you know, it's kind of boring game to sit there and watch. So they wanted more games where you're having teams go win in 4-3, 5-3, 6-4, 7-5. So that you're gonna tune in more because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, you're going to see more offense. There's going to be more excitement. And I think shooters are better now. I mean, goalies to me they go down way too quick in their butterfly style, and the shooters are so good now that I mean you're seeing players the bank shots off goalies off of their masks that they're scoring from these really bad angles where like 4 or 5 years ago you never would have seen anyone try a shot from there, or if they did, you know, it just would have hit the goalie, and the goalie would have made an easy save. But the shooters have gotten better. They've taken advantage of the goalies going down, and they're picking the corners on them now.
So pretty much the game is evolving. It's becoming a lot more of offense and not defense, pretty much.
Yep, as of right now, yeah.
To start this season and to end of last season, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now back to this conversation, Mister. I want to hate on the Rangers right now. What do you want to know about the Rangers, pal? Or what do you want to tell me about the Rangers?
What is there to tell about the Rangers? Now, I got some really good Ranger friends that are on the app. I see the stuff that they struggle with all the time. I don't need to know anything about the Rangers other than they're not scoring goals. Their goalie is fantastic, and they're wasting his years if they can't find people to do it. What I will say is there's a lot of talk right now. I saw it today, especially of Panarin being traded. They're trying to get assets and trying to figure out what's going on with that. Obviously, all rumors. Nobody's for sure, and I don't see a reason to trade Panarin. He's aging a little bit. I think he's 32. and he's not producing the way that he has in his past. But the Rangers aren't producing as a whole, so it's difficult to say. But
Well,
like I said, Drury might be on the hot seat right now, so I would expect they won't waste much time to make some changes if they feel like they can be competitive this year.
well, like I told you, 3-4 years ago, they were almost in the Stanley Cup, 1 or 2 games away from being in the Stanley Cup. And then ever since then, it's just been straight downhill. Like they haven't, the year after, they didn't even snip the playoffs. The year after that, they looked complete trash. And then now here we are starting off this year, below 500. So I don't know what happened 4 years ago for them to be 1 or 2 games away from the Stanley Cup till now. But obviously something happened and they need to figure it out quickly.
Zibanejad was performing, Panarin was performing, Shesterkin was out of his mind. I think they got rid of Georgiev, and that was really what started the downfall for Georgiev.
Yeah.
The curse of Forgiev.
Hey, listen, man. New York as a whole, whether you talk about New York and Jersey, hasn't won a ring since 2011. That was their last ring as a whole, and that was my Giants. But before then, it was 2009 with the Yankees, and it's just been, like we never had a good run in any sport where they might make the playoffs, but they're just making the playoffs to make the playoffs. Like they're not dominating throughout the years, game in, game out, and it's just New York's just in a horrible place right now with all the sports, whether that's football, baseball, basketball, hockey. The only team that looks halfway decent is the New York Liberty. Then that's the WNBA. I mean, they look the last 2 or 3 years, they've looked great. So
nothing wrong with it. You got to start somewhere. I mean, the WNBA, man, that's still a championship.
Nothing wrong with it, but I mean, it's just it just I feel like as a whole of New York, New Jersey, the whole market, it's just it's a lot of media problems that cause these players that don't want to go there and play. I mean, when you talk about America, the first couple of places you bring up is, New York, California, Texas. Like those are, but New York mostly is just because of the media, the tourists there, and like it's just people don't want to play there because of the atmosphere that comes with it. Like those fans, yeah, I am a fan of most, of all my New York teams, but being there is a whole different than not being there. Like those fans, they either love you or they hate you. Like there's no in between, and a lot of other fan bases are not like that, So like when Soto left from the Yankees to the Mets, 90% of Yankee fans couldn't stand him. When Saquon Barkley left from the Giants to the Eagles, 110% of Giant fans can't stand him. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the market for New York is very hard to play in, and you got to have thick skin, tough skin to play there. And if you don't, you're gonna drown. It's just that simple. You're not gonna make it in New York if you don't have tough skin. I hate to say it that way, but and this is why we suffer and we haven't won multiple championships. It's just that simple.
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all right. I had to get it off my chest since you wanted to keep picking at me all night. So,
not picking at you. I just had to call it out, because as we're part of the media right now. So, as part of the media, I got to be tough on you.
Yeah, tough on me. Yeah. Don't worry. My teams do that to me enough. I don't need other people to pick on me.
Don't let me bring up the old. Don't make me bring up the old orange and blue from a couple of weeks ago, huh?
Listen.
Hot take. I was born in Michigan, so I'm a fan of all of my teams. I mean, the past 3-4 years, this is the first time where we've seen the Lions be good and make the playoffs. That's why I know how you feel. I mean, we have Barry Sanders, and we pretty much was it his and Calvin Johnson's careers in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, listen, with all due respect, I've seen championships, and I know a lot of people haven't, but it just sucks though because the thing, when with the amount of money that goes in and out of New York, I mean, the Yankees are top 3 in payroll, right? So why can't they get over that hump? And last year was their chance, and they had a very good chance last year, and they fucking blew it. Just that simple. They literally blew the World Series last year. This year we get smacked by the Blue Jays. Like, they don't even show up to fight besides one game. I mean, you're paying all these players to come play for New York, and you change the whole rule of they're allowed to have a little bit of facial hair and this and that, and the players seemed a lot happier, but you still can't get over that hump. So I mean, I just it's just very tough. I mean, and I am very grateful for seeing my teams win the championships I have seen. I mean, the only team that I haven't, well, the 2 teams I haven't seen win a championship is obviously the Knicks and the Rangers. I don't think I'll ever see a Rangers championship, so I ain't stressing
You didn't
about
see
that.
that 93 championship?
That was the year.
94.
That was the year
94,
I was 1, bud.
Okay. Yes, yeah. For me, the Lions are the only team I haven't seen win a championship.
I was 1. I mean, if you want to count that, we could count that.
Did you see it?
I mean, if you want to count that, we can. But I mean, the Rangers, I don't expect to see them, win a championship with the way they've looked the last 2 or 3 years, and the Knicks are the Knicks. So, and no, I don't want to talk about your orange and blue fucking Broncos whipping 33 points in the fourth quarter. No, I don't want to talk about that because I know that's on the back of your mind right now, Boston, and I don't want to talk about that.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna leave it alone.
That was 2 weeks ago. We just got our ass whipped by the Eagles, and you want to bring up 2 weeks ago about the Broncos? Hey,
I just thought I'd remind you.
I do want to talk a little bit about other sports before we run away from this, and I want to bring up the World Series since
I have to get going now.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
No problem, Brian. I appreciate you joining us, bud, and look forward to having you again.
Have a good night, Brian.
So thanks for having me on. It was great talking with everyone.
Appreciate you,
Thanks,
bud.
Brian. Good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you, Boston. Good seeing you, Vegas. Good seeing you. Hot take.
Appreciate you, bud.
Appreciate you too.
I do want to talk about the World Series a little bit before we run away. What are your thoughts on this?
Hot take. Did you lose audio? Can you guys hear me?
No, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
But you can't hear Hot Take, right?
I can hear him.
Can you? I can't hear him.
You're playing games?
I can hear you. Yes. I can't hear Hot Take. I don't know why.
How about now? No?
Are we talking Broncos still? I don't know what we're talking about. I know you can hear me. I just can't hear you. I can hear Vegas.
Vegas, tell them what we're talking about, please.
I'll leave. I'll come back.
I mean, you didn't even finish what you were saying.
Oh yeah. Anyways, so leave and come. Tell them to leave and come back. So I don't have to hear them.
Leave and come back.
I do want your thoughts on this World Series, though, a little bit, Vegas. Here, I want to pick your brain a little bit. Obviously, all year Dodgers look dominant. They went into the World Series, looking dominant as possible. And the Jays as well, they've looked dominant all year too. And they did look a little sketchy in the regular playoffs. But the World Series, the Jays are dominating right now, and I don't think anyone predicted the Jays to do what they're doing, and they're up 3-2 in the series right now. You think the Dodgers have any shot of winning 2 games in Toronto? Try to take this World Series to win back-to-back?
Not two. I don't think they'll be able to get two games. I think the Blue Jays are going to take it. I think that 18-inning game really screwed the Dodgers with their pitching and everything. I just don't think they have the depth to go after that, and that showed after that game. The Blue Jays came out and smoked them the last 2 games. So I think they might get one out there, but if not, then I think Blue Jays are either gonna take it the first game, or definitely I think they'll take it the second game. But I don't think the Dodgers are gonna go all the way again.
I mean, they are the top 2. Both teams are the top 2 teams in the NL and the AL. So, it is great seeing both 2 top teams from both sides play in the World Series. But like you were saying, I don't think they win both. I think they do win Game 6 and take it to Game 7. Obviously, everybody loves a Game 7. That's what they live for. They live for in the playoffs, no matter the sport, no matter the teams. They all live for a Game 7, especially being the World Series. Game 7. We good, Boston? Boston?
I'll take.
We're good? You can hear me now, Bob?
Vegas, can I hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're good to go.
All right. Most famous words in sports is Game 7. So, I do think the Dodgers do take it to Game 7, but I don't think they win both games, obviously. But it's going to be interesting to see Yamamoto pitch tomorrow's game, because he's looked great in the World Series. He hasn't looked that great in the playoffs, but he's looked great in the World Series. Boston, what we were talking about was, do you think the Dodgers have a chance to win 2 games in Toronto to win the World Series?
Well, I mean, listen, they're there for a reason. I mean, if you can't win 2 games on the road with a championship on the line, like there's no better time to win 2 games on the road. Like, with that said, I do think they can do it. I followed enough along this season, having been on a couple of these with you guys and not been too well versed in baseball previously. Followed enough along. This team has good bats when they're on, and when they get into a hot streak, and Ohtani gets into a hot streak especially, then this team is almost unstoppable. They have not faced really too much adversity. I really thought the Brew Crew was going to give them some adversity, having beat them all these times in the regular season, and then went on to do absolute jack squat. If there's a team that can do it, the Dodgers can do it. I don't want them to do it. I think super cool if the Blue Jays are able to just finish this thing off.
Yeah. I mean, as a Yankee fan, I hate both teams. I wish, I don't wish harm on anyone, but I do wish a meteor would hit the stadium while they're both playing. But with that being said, I don't think that personally the Dodgers win both games in Toronto. Now, I do think they win Game 6 to make it, Game 7, but I don't think they win both. And I think the Blue Jays are too consistent with their bats, and like you said, the Dodgers do get hot, and when they get hot, they get hot. But the Blue Jays have been consistent all year, and they haven't fell off, and they haven't really shown a weak point in that lineup. So I'll go ahead and say congrats to your 2025 World Series champs, Toronto Blue Jays.
Don't jinx this now. Don't do that to them, okay?
Right.
You can throwing out championships before it's even been done.
Listen, to me, honestly, like, and it hates. I hate to say this, it's like a knife getting stabbed in my heart. I'd rather have the Dodgers win to keep the World Series out of the AL East, but I don't think the Dodgers do it. So, like I said, and I'll say it again, congrats to your 2025 World Series champ, Blue Jays.
It's disgusting. Double down on it. It's disgusting.
Come on, man. I don't name for a reason. See the name underneath me. There's a reason why I have that name, but we built a brand off that name. We got to continue it. You can't just. You think I'm just not going to double down on it?
Listen, all I'm saying is like, you're either gonna you're gonna hurt your own feelings, or you're gonna jinx this poor team before they even have a chance to play 6 and 7. So,
I mean, either way, it's a win-win for me. So
no, you're gonna hurt your own feelings. You're gonna watch them parade around Toronto.
Listen,
dance on Yankee jerseys.
I mean, listen. Like I was saying earlier with Yankee fans and their players for their teams, it's just like with other sport fans. They either love us or they hate us. And everyone outside of New York, New Jersey can't stand us. So to me, brother, it doesn't, Look, I'll even show you. Look.
Thank God.
We still rep.
Camera froze. You're still repping. Okay.
No, we still rep every day. I don't change.
Your camera froze. I thought maybe for sure we were censoring something out, and you're like, "I'll show you." Okay, buddy. I don't need to see any tramp stamp tattoos or nothing like that.
Every day I rep. It doesn't matter win, lose, tie. We rep. So, but I mean, honestly, though, thinking about it, these two are the best teams in the league right now. And they've put on a show in the World Series, and it's been a great World Series so far. And I think Game 6 is going to be another great one for the making. I mean, when was the last time we've seen an 18-inning World Series? When was the last time we even seen an 18-inning game? So we don't get to see those often. So I think Game 6 is going to be another, Dodgers, and you got Goosen pitching for the Jays. I mean, looking at the numbers, you got one pitching 1.5 ERA and you got one pitching 2.5 ERA. So if they continue on that streak and they roll with that, then it's going to be either they're either going to be a very low scoring game, or the bats are going to hit and it's going to be another high scoring game, and we potentially see another extra inning game.
I think the Dodgers lose this game. I think it's over.
I think it is too. Going to that, do you think the Maple Leafs
Wait a second.
playoff drought is over?
Vegas.
If Toronto.
Wait 1 second, Vegas. Wait 1 second. What did you say, Boston?
The Jays are going to win this game. It's over.
Oh, but wait a second. So when I said congrats to your 2025 World Series champ, Blue Jays, it was
different. But I know what you were doing. Me, I'm just calling the game. You're trying to jinx somebody. You're trying to hurt somebody's feelings. I know what you're up to.
Okay. I had to keep you on your toes. That's all.
I'm just calling it as I see it. You're over here trying to be mean to people.
I hope they fucking lose both. When the Dodgers win both. You want the honest truth. But I don't see it happening. How is it disgusting? Why would I want the Blue Jays to win? Vegas continue though. You were saying Maple Leafs.
Does the Maple Leafs playoff drought end if the Blue Jays win this?
No.
Probably not.
No, not.
Probably
I don't
not.
know. I'm missing Marner right now. Nylander's the best player.
Matthews isn't playing that great this year.
Hughes is fantastic, and I'm a huge Matthews fan, but Nylander's their best player. If they're not all going, Tavares isn't going to carry them. They
No.
have great goaltending, but I don't know. I feel like there's a hole there. I don't know what the answer is. I think they'll get to the playoffs, but after that, it's whoever they play is going to beat them
Do
in
nothing
7,
again.
like they always do. Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
everybody talks about the Toronto Maple Leafs like they've won anything recently. 1967 was the last time they won, and I get it. Biggest city, richest city. They have a lot of money. They have good colors. I like it. Justin Bieber's a fan. I get it, but no. The answer is no. Not this year.
Well, I do want to bring up one topic, and I know you're going to be very excited about this topic, Boston. But what do you expect out of your Broncos this year? Do you expect to see them take it all the way, or do you just expect them to try to at least make the AFC Championship?
Well, I do think the AFC Championship is like reachable. This defense is elite. Surtain's out for a few weeks. Looks like he might be back right after the bye, which is 4 weeks out. So there's some things going on there, but AFC Championship, I think that's reasonable. Now, to make it to the Super Bowl, this defense can do that. This defense reminds me of the 2015 defense. The difference is we have a quarterback at no shot at Peyton Manning, but he was not throwing darts in 2015. The defense carried them. Osweiler was there.
There's no way you just compared both quarterbacks, right?
No, I'm not saying. But what I am telling you is like that Peyton Manning was not throwing darts. This quarterback, this offense, when they are doing good play calling, can play some offense as well. I mean, they just put up 44 points this week against the Cowboys.
Against the 33rd ranked defense, and there's only 32 teams in the league. Go ahead.
But listen, they also put up 33 points in the fourth quarter against the Giants after being shut out for 3. They've won 5 straight. They came back and beat the Eagles in the fourth quarter. I mean, this team has the ability to play.
I'm just going to change the name. I'm just going to change the name of the show from the Sports Podium to just Hate on Hot Take. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Brother, you were trying to hate on me. I was just defending myself, okay? You pushed me into a corner. I had nothing to do with the stab you with the 33-point fourth quarter, okay?
So, I mean, honestly, I do think they have a really good shot of making the AFC Championship. I mean, there's only maybe 3-4 teams in the AFC that could compete for that, right as of right now. Obviously, down the stretch, it's going to be a lot more teams. But, they're one of the top 3 teams right now that could compete for the AFC Championship right now. We're almost at pretty much the midway point of the season. Come next week, we'll be at, midway point. So they're looking great, as of right now. But what are your expectations compared to last year to this year? And what do you want to see out of them? Do you want to see AFC Championship? No, I'm saying, what are your expectations?
Sorry, you broke up a little bit.
What are your expectations out of the Broncos this year? I know, obviously, they've made the playoffs, but do you want to see AFC Championship, or do you want to see them go to the Super Bowl all the way?
Well, you have to say you want to go to the Super Bowl.
Of course.
But I think for me right now, like a great expectation is the AFC Championship. I think it will depend on if they win the division and like where their seeding falls as they continue through the rest of the season and like how those matchups line up. But AFC Championship, I think, would be fantastic. I would die if they lost it, though. Like I would not want to get all the way there.
I hope they make it and lose by 33.
Listen, I won't keep poking at you, okay? I know you're hurting right now, and you're doing this out of hurt.
A little bit out of hurt. But I mean, I can potentially see them, like you said. I mean, expectations for you and your Broncos are AFC Championship. It's been since 2015, since they were there last. So to see them do this great and this well off, almost at the midway point is very good for them. Now they just have to finish it. They have a very good chance of winning the division, with the Chiefs starting
well,
off.
exactly. Execution will be the key.
Yeah, I mean, they have a very good, chance to win the division with the Chiefs starting off slow and having a 1-game lead over them. Now they just have to finish it. They can't let the Chiefs get too far ahead of them and, lose that potential chance of losing the division. So we'll see what happens. Next week is, like I said, pretty much midway point. Vegas, I know your team is the Browns. And I'm not trying to be funny because I'm in the same boat here too as well. We haven't seen anything in years. We're both, our football's over by October. Like this is when our football's over pretty much every year for the last couple of years. So, the question I do have for you though is, is it owner's fault? Is it GM's fault? Is it coach's fault? Or is that franchise just cursed from when they moved from Baltimore to Cleveland? Did he freeze?
Sorry, yeah, you cut out. What you said it was the owner's fault? What?
Is it the owner's fault, general manager's fault, coach's fault, or is that team just cursed from when they moved from Baltimore to Cleveland?
I mean, honestly,
You ask him one Browns question, and now he doesn't want to participate in the conversation.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi is messing up because it's about the Browns. The whole time the hockey.
It literally is. It just keeps going in and out. I don't know what to call
You're breaking up. I'm entering a tunnel.
The Brown too? No, I don't know. I feel like we're just cursed, man. Partly I feel like it's the owner's fault, but coach's fault. But I mean, you could only put so much blame on these guys at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. I wish we would have never stepped away from Baker. That's a big one. I feel horrible for Myles Garrett. He wanted to leave, and then we convinced him to stay, and now we've won 2 games so far this season. Like, just let that man go. Play for a competing team.
Why not start Shadur? What do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah, that too. I mean, Gabriel's he's not going to be a starter, in my opinion. I get they still want to develop him, but I mean, at this point, like, exactly, what's there to lose? Like, get him in there, get some reps.
What if he wins a game? Like, it might be by
exactly.
accident, but what if he won a game?
No, you never know. Like, at least put him in there. There's like you said, there's nothing to lose at this point. Put him in there, let him go. See how he does, and then maybe make that decision from there. But I mean, if we're planning on developing him anyway, we might as well just start playing him.
Now switching over to basketball. What are your expectations for your team there, pal? Not you,
for the
Boston.
Cavs.
Yeah, for the Cavs. Not you, Boston.
I mean, I don't know. I think we can sneak into the playoffs again this year. But I mean, I don't think we're making much noise in there. I honestly haven't been paying too much attention to it at all this year. I know it just started, but I haven't really paid too much attention. The only game I watched actually was the Knicks game that we lost.
Because you were hate watching. That's the difference. That's why you were watching. Okay, you were hate watching. But continue. My bad.
Yeah. That's the only game I've watched so far this year. But I mean, from last year, I think we'll at least be in the like playoff picture. But I don't see us making any noise in the playoffs at all.
I respect it. Boston, you have an NBA team?
Denver Nuggets.
I'm saying you follow them?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you followed them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know a good amount of basketball. I don't ever really talk about it because obviously I try and push the sport that I love the most, and I talk a lot of trash from the Broncos standpoint too. But dude, the Nuggets just, I think their expectation is championship. They have a fantastic roster. They opened it up a little more. They're deeper on the bench.
I mean, you have the number one player in the league. So, I mean,
Oh yeah, in the entire world, right? I mean,
yeah,
listen, he's
no
probably.
questions asked.
I think he's been robbed of a couple of MVPs. I mean, statistically speaking, last year the greatest of all time statistics for an offensive standpoint. He gets beat up a little bit for not being the rim protector that some of these other big guys are, but he makes up for it in so many other ways. I think he has 3-4 straight double or triple doubles to start the season already. So, and I think he has the longest triple double streak going right now. At any rate, the Nuggets team is great, man. They play a style that's exciting to watch, and Jokic, man, he does something crazy every game where you're like, the hell was that? I live in a pretty golden era of Denver sports, right? Minus the Rockies, who we don't talk about, but everybody's got championship aspirations.
We've never talked about the Rockies. Never will. Never have.
Never will. That's never. I forgot. It should never even brought that up. Don't invite me on here ever again because of that.
I mean, since we're on the conversation, I mean, only expectations I have as a Knicks fan, it's championship or bust this year. Like, you have the pieces, you have the depth, you look good against the Cavs, you look good against Miami, you look good against Milwaukee, even though you did blow a 19-point lead against Milwaukee, but you still look good. We beat the Celtics. Obviously, it was without Tatum, but we don't think Tatum's coming back. So you have good pieces around you. You have decent star power on that team. It's either boom or bust this year. Go out there, go for it all, win the championship, and prove, to everyone that y'all can do it. Last year you had a chance. The year before you had a chance, and the year before that you had a chance. And all 3 years you lost. So you're on your fourth year. You're on your at least third year with this solid core. Maybe 4 years with some of the players. Go out there and show them that you can win it.
But I think their biggest problem was depth, right? Like, they didn't have anybody to come off the bench and give these guys a breather. They were all playing 40-plus minutes a game.
The last 2 years when we lost – last year when we lost to Indiana, we didn't have depth. Like, it was just complete no depth. I mean, you got Mikal Bridges and OG and Brunson playing 38 minutes out of a 48-minute game. You're only giving them 2 minutes, The year before was injuries. Now, I'm not saying those, it should be next man up, but when you take an injury to an OG or you take an injury to Brunson and you have no one to replace them, then that's a problem. But this year we have the depth. Our bench looks good. We've added some pieces, a new coach, that uses a rotational bench, and not just his starters all game long. And, hopefully when we do have these blowout games and we're winning by 40 points in the third quarter, fourth quarter, he takes out his starters and not continues playing his starters to risk an injury like last year with OG. So it's either boom or bust for us this year, man. It really is. And I'm excited for it. I think we potentially have a chance to be the number one seed in the East. So.
Yeah, I've never trusted Philadelphia. So, I mean, that's where you guys are right now, is right below them, but I've never really trusted them.
No, I don't think so. I think they fall off a little bit. Now, they do make the playoffs, but I do think they fall off a little bit, drop to that 4 or 5 spot. I think Boston gets it going without Tatum, and they jump up to like the 2-3 spot. Obviously, the Cavs are going to be there. The Pacers are going to be – I think that the East is between Milwaukee, the Pacers, and the Knicks. I think those are the 3 teams to watch out for on the East side.
Is Halliburton back?
Good question. Not sure.
We don't have to research that now. I'll look it up. But just curious for the Pacer standpoint. But scrappy team, play hard, play fast.
Yeah.
Good defensively.
I mean, honestly, I personally think last year they had a good chance to win that finals if he doesn't get hurt. But obviously, OKC just has too much. Like, they can take their starting 5 out and put their bench in, and they still run the same pieces, the same plays because of how well they built that team.
Denver
they
let
built,
him off the hook, man.
Yeah, that's another thing. So, but is there anything else across the sports world that y'all want to bring to the people's attention? Anything that people should know about?
I don't have anything fun or exciting. I appreciate the time being here tonight. I'm ready to go eat some dinner, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, I feel you. So go ahead and
Yep,
do
same.
outros. Vegas, I appreciate you. Boston, I always appreciate you. Go ahead and Vegas, tell the people where they can find you at social media.
You can find me on X, screen name VGK Hockey Freak.
One
And
of
I
the best,
appreciate the time being here.
one of the best supporters out there. Tell you that much. Boston.
yeah, on X, Boston Cashews 5. I also have just started adminning for Playoff Hockey _. Trying to grow that page. Please take a look. That one will be dedicated to the sport of hockey, so it'll be a wide range of all kinds of things. But if you want Avalanche coverage, I follow plenty of Avalanche folks and also post plenty of my own stuff for that team as well. Same handle, Boston Cashews 5 on Instagram.
I appreciate both y'all boys. I appreciate Brian. I left early. Appreciate y'all joining me and talking hockey and filling me in on some, great hockey knowledge from two of the GOATs themselves of hockey. Any hockey information you need is, you're looking at the two faces right here to get your information from. You can also follow me at my name right there, Hot Take City 904. Make sure you follow my co-host at Austin _Roland0. And then follow our Sports Podium page at Sports Podium 224. We also have a TikTok, a YouTube, and X page. I appreciate y'all boys joining me. Thank you for, talking hockey with me, and we'll do this again soon, mid-season, and we'll see what our points are from today till mid-season. So,
Yeah.
Go Blue
peace.
Jays.
Have a good night, guys.